Hey my friends, this is Stephanie Ritter-Mott from Courageous Living. Have you ever found yourself at the very end of a toothpaste tube? You're squeezing it, you're trying to get the very last of the toothpaste out? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you some life lessons you can learn from a toothpaste tube. So what can we learn from this mangled toothpaste tube that still has a little bit of toothpaste left in it? And the only way that we know that is if we squeeze it and get that toothpaste out. But see, my friends, there's life lessons that we can learn from that. You see, there's times when we start on that road and that goal and that dream, and we've energized and we're excited about it. But as time goes on, as months or maybe years go on, we feel like there's nothing more to give. Our faith may be challenged, hope may be feeling like it's going away. The tenacity that you had at the beginning is now faded out. Whatever that looks like to you, you know what, just like that toothpaste tube, you squeeze it, a little bit more toothpaste comes out, it will give you what you need to go to the next step, to go further and farther than you thought you could go. So there are some things that we can learn from this mangled toothpaste tube. If you had a friend that was facing the same situation that you're facing right now, what would you tell them? What would you say to them? And I'm sure you would have great advice for them. You would be encouraging them not to give up. But you know what I want you to do? Take that same advice and take it to you. Stand in front of the mirror and speak it into you. Speak it into your spirit so it gets deep down inside of you so that you can stir up those gifts and talents within you. Stir up that hope and stir up that faith. So just like you would tell a really good friend to not give up and to lean into those difficulties or those obstacles, I want you to tell yourself the same thing. And you know what? Rinse and repeat. Do it again and again. Do it as many times as it takes until you really believe what you're saying and get it deep down inside of you. So my friends, when we squeeze out a little bit more, it gives us an opportunity to refocus, to reflect, to redeem the time, to discover that there's really that energy inside of us that can help propel us to go forward. There's so much that you discover when you just squeeze out a little bit more, whatever that is for you, by not giving up. There's so many things you're going to discover, and you're going to have those aha moments, and you're going to be so glad that you didn't stop. Just like you didn't throw half a toothpaste tube away because you thought, it's almost empty. No, you used it to the very end. You squeezed out and you kept doing it until the very last of it was out. But you know what? I'll bet you there's still some more in there. You know what? There's still more inside of you too. So don't give up, my friend. So my friends, I want to share something with you. Several years ago when I was going through my divorce, there was a lot of humiliation and shame that came with it, a lot of rejection that came with it, and you carry that with you for a very long time. And because of that, I just felt like I was barely above water, that I could barely get my breath sometimes. In fact, it reminded me of when I was a kid and I'd go fishing with my dad, and he'd put a bobber on the fishing line, and so that way I always knew where it was at in the water, but at the same time I also knew when a fish would take the bait because the bobber would go under the water. And so I felt like that bobber just going up and down with the waves. But you know what happened? One time I was sitting at my desk at work, and I was just kind of reflecting back and kind of thinking of the journey that I'd been on the last several months and feeling like how that bobber feeling, just kind of reflecting on that. And all of a sudden, I really felt I heard God speak to me, just in my spirit. And you know what he said to me? He said, you're already on the other side of the river. You're not in that water bobbing up and down. You're on the other side of the river. And that was a huge aha moment for me because, again, I didn't realize how far I had actually gone. I didn't realize I was no longer in the middle of the river. I was on the other side of the river. You know why that is because I kept squeezing out hope, faith, tenacity. I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to let the shame and the rejection keep me under, but I was going to keep pressing through. And I had to keep squeezing out gifts and talents within me. I had to preach to myself that I could do this and get past it and get through it. So don't give up. Keep squeezing out the tenacity that's inside of you. Keep squeezing out that mindset of you're not going to give up. You're not going to give in, but you're going to press on and press through and get to the other side. And you know what? For some of you, remember, you're already on the other side. You've made it to the other side. So until next time, my friend, continue to live that courageous life. Be strong and be kind.